after that, before we go contacting the subconscious, we have to make sure that I clear out and I take the client through the death scene. And I always remind them that they're just observing, and then they're not going to experience any discomfort. And she was able to pass through very nicely. She came through into an environment of purple or something like that. I thought it was really interesting. But having had many other clients already, she seems to be the one that was most resistant to allowing me to contact it. So I'm just going to play a clip. I had to ask several times before she'd give me permission, but listen to this. Speak to Nikki's subconscious, please.
Maybe another time.
Maybe another time. I'll play it again. May I speak to Nikki's subconscious, please?
Maybe another time.
I'll repeat it. Maybe another time. I thought that was cute. It seems to have a little bit of a personality. But I actually, in the training, it asks us if we have trouble that we can invoke Dolores Cannon, who the creator of this type of hypnosis. We can invoke her name and she can help. It's an interesting thing that seems to work. We live in a multiverse, and apparently we can call on resources from anywhere, whether it be past or present or whatever. And I find that to be, if you know Dolores Cannon and you know of any of her work, that will make sense to you. It will really make sense. Even though she has one of the titles of her books is Convoluted Universe. That makes sense to me. Okay, so right when she finally gave me permission to ask questions, and we made connection, I asked, why did it take her to that current lifetime instead of a past lifetime? And the response was simple and clear. It was, Nikki must forgive. Keep that in mind for a little while, because that seems to be a theme in Nikki's life. In this section of contacting the subconscious, that's where the client will bring me a list of their questions of anything and everything they can think about, and I can ask them in this part of the hypno session. We can also at this point do a health scan, where I did request the subconscious or the higher self to do a body scan. And the only thing that came up was a lump under one of her underarms. And it came up nothing cancerous. But what was interesting is that the advice given was that she needs to go to a doctor to help her understand her body. And for me, what that meant was, and I could have asked more questions, but I didn't think about it at the time. The questions would have been, was it an allergic reaction? Was it a reaction other than an allergy? Maybe her environment, something like that. She has since gone to the doctor. They have put a name to her condition, and she is getting help. So I'm really glad that helped. But I'll go ahead and start with the questions. The second clip right here is actually, no. Okay, I hate when that happens. Let's go into the question she has. But that second clip is actually the first one. I'm just going to play it. PowerPoint is saving the auto recovery. Okay, so I am left without being able to do anything. There we go. Okay. All right. Nikki has a strange birthmark on her left hip. And her mother has the same one. Why? Why is that? That's me breathing. Does that birthmark have anything to do with forgiveness?
Yes.
Yes. Tell me more.
Pierced a knife,
pierced by a knife
or a sword,
or a sword,
or a blade of some sort.
or a blade of some sort. You were pierced with a sword?
Yes.
Yes. Why was your mother pierced the same way?
Her sisters.
So later on what we find is that because both my cousin Nina and her daughter Nikki, my client, they have an identical birthmark in the same place, and it's a flat oval above the right butt cheek, as I understand. And so more information that came through is that they were killed by the same guy. Fun fact, before this and before anything, mother and her two daughters have always called each other sister. That's just a little fun name that they call each other. Next question I'm going to tell you. What things about her native heritage should she know or benefit from knowing? And the response was grandmother. And that will make sense in a couple more questions down the line. What was the meaning of the out-of-body experience that she had at 16? The response was, not for now. And for this one, I chose not to go further on this one, because obviously that makes sense. I didn't want to pursue it. Next question was, why does Nikki experience a lot of deja vus? She has a lot of strong deja vus and impressions that she has. And specifically in reference to the car accidents that she's been in. Okay, so the response was, so she can see ahead of time. I thought that was interesting. Makes sense, if you ask me. But, so she can see ahead of time. I almost laughed. Okay, next question. Why does Nikki get sensations of healings? And I had to ask Nikki what she meant about that. And it's that there's just an energy around her that she can feel, I guess, leave her, but she can sense that there's healing going on around her in different places. The response was her native heritage, shamanism, or shaman is what was said. No, yeah. And the response was also, Nikki needs to connect with her grandmother, the one in Laguna. Okay. Why does Nikki have strong vision or clairvoyance? The response was, it's a gift. Open up to make it stronger. Work on inner peace. Wow, interesting. That makes sense to line up the chakras, right? Who made the boxes fall when Nikki was with Chris? So one night she was with a boyfriend who she's no longer with and was a really